I just wanted to pop on here real quick and talk a little bit more about my post from the other day. So if you didn't see it, I just said that I had a miscarriage. And I just think that we should talk about miscarriages more and trying to conceive more. And I think everything is still so taboo and a little like isolating. So I really just wanted to talk kind of about my experience and my feelings about stuff, and hopefully maybe someone else is watching that feels the same way or is going through the same thing and feels isolated and alone, and I can help them in that way. So for my miscarriage, I wanted to talk first about kind of the physical things that I never really thought about when I thought about miscarriages until I actually had my own. So on TV, you see the miscarriage happens and then it's kind of just over and you move forward from there. But in reality, that's not how it works. When I found out I was miscarrying, it didn't just end there. It lasted for 9 days. So it wasn't like I found out and I could immediately just kind of move on and start the recovery or whatever process. I was still actively going through it, so it was hard to move on until it was complete. And I was one of the lucky ones. I say lucky because no one's lucky if you have a miscarriage, but I didn't have to have any medical intervention. I didn't need any medicine or TNC. I was able to miscarry peacefully on my own. So that's one thing you don't think about. Another thing is I got thrown back into some of the postpartum symptoms I was having after I had Waylon. So after I had Waylon, I had crazy night sweats for 2 weeks. This time, I didn't have them as long. I had maybe for 5 days. But I would still wake up and be freezing but sweating. And so that was really annoying because I never even thought that would be something that could happen. Also, after I had Waylon, I craved sugar and would eat donuts every morning, pretty much. And I know you guys are going to say I eat donuts every morning anyways, but that's not true. I eat donuts once a week, maybe every other week. I'm actually more of a salty person. I like chips and stuff, so instead of sweets. So after I had this miscarriage, I was craving sugar like I was going to die if I didn't have it. I would make a batch full, a whole batch of snickerdoodles or a double batch, and I would sit and eat 10 within 5 seconds. I would just eat them all and would still need more. So it was weird having such an intense craving. I always thought it was, with Waylon, I thought it was because of breastfeeding, but I think it was really just a hormonal thing because your hormones are going all over the place. I didn't really think that would happen because I was early when I miscarried. I was only 8 weeks, but I guess I had enough hormones to mess with my sugar cravings or something. I don't know. But so yeah, those were some of the physical things that you don't really think about and that were kind of hard and annoying to deal with. The other part is the emotional side, and obviously when you have a miscarriage or find out you're having a miscarriage or find out that you have a pregnancy loss, all these things are going through your mind. You're angry and sad and disbelief and almost embarrassed and ashamed, and then you feel whose fault is it? Is it my fault? You're guilty. There's just all these emotions. Basically every emotion. You feel every emotion and you're so mad and you're so hurt and you don't believe it. And for me, it took a while for me to actually not realize, but to feel I wasn't pregnant. We'd go out to eat and Chappy would order a drink and be what are you gonna get? I'm oh, Chappy, I can't drink. And then I'd be oh wait, yes I can, because I'm not pregnant anymore. It's been 2 weeks. I should know this by now. But it just took a while to get to where I wasn't feeling pregnant all the time, and my first thought wasn't you're pregnant. So that's hard. For me also, I am such a planner, and if I had to pick the perfect timing for my second pregnancy, this would have been it. It was the perfect age gap between Waylon and the new baby. This is going to sound really stupid, but it fell under one insurance year, and I didn't want to have to pay 2 deductibles like I did with Waylon, so it was yay, we're saving money, and oh wait, we'd also have the child deduction this year for taxes, so we're saving even more money. And it was gonna fall in November, my due date would have been in November, so we'd have a few months before tax season, so it's not like, so Chappy could have spent time with the baby before things got crazy busy and stuff. So it's just like the perfect timing for the baby, and then to have all of that fall exactly where I wanted it to and then be taken away made it hard. It made it harder than I think not having it to begin with. I know everything doesn't go according to plans, and like you never can really plan a pregnancy because it's going to happen when it happens, but it was still hard to have it and then to lose it. So that was hard. Another thing that like really kind of like messed with my mind a little was the day we found out we were pregnant was the same day I found out that my grandma had died. I had actually found out, it was really right when I woke up, but 2:30 I think it was, my dad texted me that she had passed away, and then that next day I took a pregnancy test and it was positive. So I had this weird connection between like the pregnancy and my grandma, and like almost like a life for a life, but like she was taken, but I got this beautiful gift of life. And then when I lost the pregnancy, it was almost like I lost my grandma again, or like the meaning in her death, or I don't know, it's like hard to explain, but like they were like intertwined like in my emotions. So when I lost the baby, I just felt like I was losing my grandma again, or like it didn't have purpose anymore. But yeah, so that's like, again, something that's like kind of irrational, like they really aren't connected, but just for me they felt connected. Also, we had a shirt that Waylon wore when I told Chappy I was pregnant, and I see that shirt all the time, and I'm so confused at what to do with the shirt. It has like Big Brother, and I like want, one, I think it's a really cute shirt and I want Waylon to wear it, but two, I think it's like weird. I don't know if he should wear it or not, or like even if I got pregnant again, would he wear that shirt? Because that shirt's connected to the old baby, not to the new baby, and so it just seems weird, and I want him to wear it, but it's honestly like I'm more worried about what other people are gonna say if I put him in it, and I really need to just like not worry about what other people say, but I just think like I'm gonna put him in it, and then someone's gonna be like, oh my god, you're pregnant, like, or how cute, you must be pregnant or something, and I'd be like, no, not really, actually I had a miscarriage, and then they would like not know what to say, and I'd make them feel uncomfortable, even though like I'm at the point now, like I'm okay with it. It's something that happened to me, it happens to everyone, and not everyone, but it happens to a lot of women, and I feel no shame. So I don't know why I'm worrying about what other people would feel when I'm okay with it. So I really should just put him in the stupid shirt. So maybe I will. After this video, I might go put him in that shirt just to do it. But that kind of goes back, not fully, because I get like strangers could be like, you're pregnant, and then it would be like I'm having a personal conversation with a stranger, which you don't do. But it kind of goes back for me to like the taboo around miscarriages. You always know someone who had one, or like that they happen all the time, but like no one really talks about it. And if you talk about it, I feel like most people are talking about it to each other when they aren't the ones that have had the miscarriage. And if their friend has one, they don't really talk to their friend about it. Or, it's kind of like hush-hush, like behind the scenes. People are talking about them, but not really like open, just out in the open anymore, or yet. So I think they should be talked about more. I don't think you should hide them. I didn't hide mine. I told my close friends and family I was pregnant pretty soon after I got pregnant, and I don't regret telling them, because those are the people I'd want to support me. If I had been pregnant and gave birth to like, I don't know, a premature baby or even a full-term baby, and something happened to the baby, I wouldn't hide it from my friends and family. I would tell them. So to me, it seems weird that I would hide my pregnancy in case I had a miscarriage and lost the baby, because I would want to tell them that anyways. So I get that, like, people grieve differently, and maybe they don't feel the same way as I do about that, but I really think it's weird that we hide our pregnancies in the beginning, and you don't tell people, and you don't talk about your miscarriages. I think talking about things, venting about things can be really therapeutic. I think realizing you're not alone and that a lot of people are going through the same thing as you is really therapeutic, and the only way you're going to know that is if you're talking about it to people. So this is even for, like, trying to conceive in general. It's so isolating. Like, you want to get pregnant, maybe your friends are trying to get pregnant, and then some of your friends are starting to announce that they're pregnant, and you feel all this pressure and anxiety and, like, stress, and you're left behind. And even if it's only been, like, a month, you're like, why aren't I pregnant yet? And, like, people don't talk about it. And maybe you're, like, 2 months in and you're stressed, or maybe you're, like, 2 years in and you're stressed. I think talking about it to your friends and family and your loved ones, and realizing that other people are probably going through the same things or similar things, or even if they're not and don't have advice, just venting to them can be, I think, really helpful. So I think we should all vent to each other. I think we all need to be there to support each other as women, and just be more open about the things we're going through, so you don't feel so alone when something weird or annoying or stressful or scary happens to you. You realize that other people in your circle are actually going through the same thing. And I actually had a friend the other day who just recently started trying to conceive. She was venting to me because she felt like all of her friends around her, well, she didn't feel like it, it's true, all of her friends around her are getting pregnant, and she's, like, I think the only one now that isn't pregnant. And she only started trying, like, 2 months ago, but she's so stressed and felt so left behind. And for me, it made me feel better to hear that she felt stressed and left behind, because I was feeling stressed and left behind. Not because all my friends are getting pregnant, but because I am starting over. Like, I felt like I was so far ahead. I would have been, like, 12 weeks announcing to, like, the stranger world, you know, like social media and stuff, that I was pregnant. And now, like, to start over, it just feels like I'm so far behind. So to hear that she was feeling the same way, it made me feel better. I got to vent back to her and say that I was feeling the same way. But then later she ended up texting me apologizing for venting to me, because she felt that it was, like, she shouldn't have, because I had a miscarriage, and that it wasn't fair to me for her to be telling me her stresses over trying to conceive. But that is so wrong. Just because I had a miscarriage, I don't want people not to talk to me anymore. I want to hear your stresses and anxieties, and I want to tell you my stresses and anxieties. And I think, like, her talking to me helped me too, and I would like her to continue to talk to me. And I want any of my friends that feel like they're going through something stressful and alone, like, that makes you feel alone, I think you should talk about it. So, I mean, honestly, that's, like, all I really wanted to say. I think we should all talk more. So if you had a miscarriage, if you're trying to conceive, and it's only been a month and you're still, like, all in your head about it, I think you should talk about it. I think if it's been a few years and it's stressful and you're having maybe infertility issues, you should talk to your friends and family, because I think other people might have had or are having the same issues, and you can get some advice, or you could just get some relief from, like, venting. So that's really it. I hope if anyone out there is having a similar situation than me, I hope you see this and realize you're not alone if you feel alone. And if you ever want to talk to me about anything or vent, feel free. I'm always open. I'll definitely vent right back to you. And I hope you liked my rant.